Today is Sunday evening, September 16th, 2018. Get ready for the Emerging C broadcast system, the Forbidden History series. What they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. Time to call your friends. Special thanks to YouTube.com for hosting the Forbidden History series. We now interrupt your normally scheduled programming to bring you this very important deprogramming program. Please note that the following views and opinions expressed on this program are not necessarily the views nor the opinions of the Master Force Group, Free America Radio Network, YouTube.com, our sponsors, our partners. NMFG is a private society, and nothing here is to be construed as medical nor legal advice. And listen to the Forbidden History prime time 7 days a week right here on therealpublicradio.net, because hidden beneath the sands of time lies the greatest of all mysteries. It's the Forbidden History. Unearth for yourself the secret truths that lie hidden just beneath the surface below our feet. What is it that the powers that be do not want you or I to know? Come and journey with us as we explore and dare to know, because it's all right here, coming your way 7 days a week at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, and a Sunday night special premiering tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Time on therealpublicradio.net, Free America Radio Network. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here. And hey, Rebecca, good to have you. And that's Ireland, right? Hey, Sandra, good to have you. I'm trying to remember where Rebecca's from. Give us a heads up, Rebecca. And yeah, broadcast up next. Haven't seen you in a while. Hope everybody's doing okay out there. It's a tough world. We've got to get through it. Oregon, okay. Coming to you live from Studio Z at the Lighthouse in Central Ohio, in the heart of Amish country and Free America Radio Network, in the land of dreams, enchantments, and nightmares. It's the Forbidden History series, the great lies of history, symbolism, the duality revealed in patterns, pictures in nature, the ABCs of light, the words that killed, the words that they killed. And hey there, Ninja, good to have you. And you know, we are the deprogramming program, ladies and gentlemen. Of course, somebody has to do it, because it is the battle for the mind. The truth is light, but ignorance is a thick darkness. Yet there's nothing there. It's the grand illusion. And these are the great antagonists, the one against the other. And which one will win? Obviously, the one that you feed, ladies and gentlemen. For all things that the great civilizations can create, there's only one thing they cannot create. Although they are good pretenders, they cannot create light. They claim the light, but they're of the darkness. And once we can begin to comprehend the true nature of things as they really are, then we can begin to comprehend there is nothing really more to complain about. It is what it is, and we're just going to have to come to terms with the reality and the hand that is dealt with us. But the good news is, if we know the one, then we know the truth, ladies and gentlemen. And you don't know what you don't know until you listen in right here, okay? Because the best way to identify the truth is to identify the great lies of history, and that's what we do right here. And yet the bigger the lie, you know, the more people, they just eat it all up. Yum, yum, eat it up. That's what we used to get from the Little Rascals. Yum, yum, eat it up. And But the scriptures, ladies and gentlemen, they do tell the truth, even though they've been manipulated by the hand of man. And the good news is we can see through the veil. And that's what we're going to do here again this evening. And it is the grand illusion. And for those who don't know where they're going, then any road will get them there. And the elevator is going straight down. And it's a rather sad commentary for our planet, but most people, well, they've been educated. And so what do you want, right? And welcome to the broadcast Ladies and gentlemen, I am your host, Desert Owl, a bird who sees in the night. And I want to find that blue pill again so I could just forget. But, you know, it's a burden to see things as they really are and the great tragedy in this world. There's people out there having a party, just like it said in the scriptures, buying and selling, marrying and giving in marriage, and having a party and watching the sports, you know, and just life is great. And, you know, they don't realize the planet is over. It is over. Game over. Game. The game. They love the game. The big game is over. Why? Because they destroyed the ozone layer, the psychopaths. I don't think those people they put on the front line are having a party with their faces shot off and their arms and their limbs missing. They're not having a party. Those politicians having a good party, though, aren't they? Yeah. Yeah, they're having a power trip, party trip. And it's really a terrible world, a real dichotomy. And, you know, just every Saturday I look forward to watching the program by Dane Wigington, geoengineeringwatch.org on YouTube. Go to Dane Wigington. That's the channel, ladies and gentlemen. Dane, D-A-N-E, Wigington, W-I-G-I-N-G-T-O-N. And you know, he made an important statement. This summer, we have had the highest nighttime temperatures since we began keeping records, okay? This summer, the highest nighttime temperatures since we began keeping records. I know it's true in Ohio because the temperatures have been 10, 15, and sometimes 20 degrees above average for the summertime. Usually it will get down into 50s at night, you know, but it's been in the 70s. Up in the 70s, upwards in the 70s, okay? And so what is the cause of that? It's the methane that's been released into the air, the higher atmosphere, and it's getting so hot up there that even the jets, you know, the jet aircraft can't fly in the higher atmosphere now because it's too hot, and they have to come down just to fly, okay? So that tells you right there it's over. Ozone layer destroyed, methane going up in the upper atmosphere. Okay, about 3 a.m. sounded right. You know, and so we need to pay attention to what is really going on because we're not in Kansas, nor are we in Australia anymore. We're on literally, we could be on the surface of the moon because surface of the moon has no atmosphere, has no ozone protection. That's why they never went to the moon, you know, plus the radiation belt to get through. You know, they ain't going to do that. So Dane Wigington, hats off. I call him the last American hero, you know, because he's on the tip of the needle. Nobody does a better job than conveying how, you know, our world is imploding upon itself. Everything dying. He's a miracle that we have somebody that can give us the score, the scoop, you know, along with Higher Truth Channel. Higher Truth Channel is the other one. And so do check him out, ladies and gentlemen. Dane Wigington, that's his channel, and Higher Truth Channel, not to mention Deborah Travaris. And Deborah Travaris, that's Stop the Crime Watch.net. I think that's the YouTube channel. Just look for Stop the Crime Watch. That'll get you her YouTube channel. So yeah, it's an unbelievable thing to realize what these psychopaths have done, ladies and gentlemen. If you have a comment or a question, or an argument, complaint, a great live history, you're a sky watcher, you see something up there that you want to report, or words that they killed us with, you name it, or a word you're trying to figure out, call in 608-566-7295, 608-566-7295, or Skype us at FreeAmericaRadio, all one word, FreeAmericaRadio. And yeah, we're in trouble. And what I want to do with the evening program on Sunday nights is I want to answer people's questions. I've been, you know, doing a presentation. Way to go, Ninja! I've been doing a presentation. You know, and I present what I feel is important for me to express, but at the same time, I know that you know, many of you are trying to figure certain things out. And so I'd love to answer questions. I got a couple questions tonight to start. And I want to thank Shelly, who's out there in California, for inspiring the Sunday night program. She is on a different time window than us, usually at work when we're doing a broadcast. So I wanted to thank her for her support and do a Sunday night, which is my favorite night, actually. That's my favorite, time for broadcasting. Sunday nights was always where I wanted to be. And so I'm doing a 2-a-day on Sundays. I do Sunday 9:30 a.m. Eastern time, where I get into a little bit more of the scriptures and read some lost writings people haven't heard before. And then, so you can go here. You're here this morning. It's already posted. Okay. And, so Shelley wanted to know about the definition of hell or Hades or Sheol. Okay. Or what is also known as Pluto. Pluto out there in the outer reaches. Of course, they said Pluto don't qualify to be a planet anymore. I guess they can't make up their mind, right? Oh, that's because they don't want us to think there's a 10th planet out there, maybe, or something like that, right? They're always switching things out. They say don't eat egg yolk, and then they say it's okay to eat egg yolk. Then they say don't eat salt, and we find out it's a killer, but they give us the wrong salt to eat anyway. So maybe we shouldn't eat the salt. But it's a world we got to figure things out. But we're on our own. We've got to figure things out for ourselves, ladies and gentlemen. These people want to kill us because they are the beast. Okay, the beast wants nothing more than to tear your life apart, to consume your flesh. They hate your guts. They follow the Babylonian Talmud, and we're on our own. We're on our own. And so, and Ninja, you were really was always so great at geography. Okay, well, yeah, you probably figured that out on your own. Most people don't even know where Germany is today, or Spain or Morocco. They're so lost. They only know where their iPhone is, and they think they're genius because they can turn it on and type something. I can't get over it. I guess I'm out to pasture. But so anyway, I wanted to share something I've been reading through Jeremiah. I'm just pages away now. I think I'll be done with Jeremiah tomorrow. Very possibly, or in 2 days. Try to read 2 chapters a day. That's my goal. Let me turn on some light here. But I've been trying to point out the amazing fact, and it is a fact, that Israel was banished. I don't know where Bridgetown is. I'm sorry, Ninja. Okay, Israel was banished, ladies and gentlemen. Yeah, they were banished. 730 BC, 730 BC, and then Judah, incorrect spelling, but it's okay. Judah was banished about 200 years later and sent to Babylon. And what a part of annihilation don't they get, And so the annihilation occurred 3 times over, because the temple, the curtain was rent when they murdered the Mashiach, the one who made the universe. Then the temple lintel was tore the curtain from top to bottom, saying it's over. You ripped your clothing, high priest. Well, guess what? Yahweh ripped the temple curtain down from the top to the bottom. He can do the same thing. In fact, it was a bigger deal. And then ultimately in 68 through 70 AD, Jerusalem is destroyed. Okay? And so I keep trying to show scriptures where it is proof, factual, that Israel, the correct terminology, Israel, is no more. It is annihilated. And so right here at the end of Jeremiah, in chapter 44, verse 26, about halfway down, Yahweh breathes. I'll lead into it, okay? Start at the top of 26. Yet, however, give ear to the message of Yahweh, all Judah, residing in the land of Mitzrayim. I have sworn He has sworn. I mean, that's a pretty powerful statement, right? I have sworn by my royal title. Okay, by his own title, he has sworn. Breathes Yahweh, that never again, let's say it again, never again will my royal title be invoked by the mouth of any blood of the earth of Utah. Never again. Never again. Okay? So what happened after they were banished to Babylon? They came back, right? 70 years later. But what came back with them? Shivaism, Rabbinism, Hammurabi, the rabbi. That's where the word rabbi comes from, Babylon. And what did they bring back with them with the Babylonian Talmud? They said, well, you know, the sacred name is so sacred that we don't think we should be saying Yahweh anymore, and therefore we're going to take out the word Yahweh and we're putting in Adonai, and you know, so we hope you like it. Thank you very much. You know, Adonai. They switched out the sacred name and gave us Adonai, which backwards is India, ancient Aryan Brahmin priesthood, Hinduism. Star of David never belonged to David. It comes from India. Okay? It's the greatest show on earth, ladies and gentlemen. So a supplanter took over after they came back from Babylon. Why? Because it was over. Over. 730 A BC, the northern kingdom was banished by the Assyrians. And then Utah, 200 years later, goes to Babylon. Okay? Zedekiah. Zed. What does Z mean? It means the end. Zedekiah. Zed. Z, the last letter. Okay? So nobody gets it. Nobody get the American people, the Christian, they call themselves Christians, kissing up to Israel. Israel. La 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 la. Israel. We love Israel. Bow down and worship Israel. You know? It's amazing. And then the Jews run the media, the television, and feeds us their bull. They even had I just saw the picture this weekend. You know, they lied about the weather, how, you know, when the storm had already gone past and there was no longer the hurricane wind force and just, you know, lighter gusts of wind, the weatherman's leaning over at a 45-degree angle saying, man, this weather is so bad. And then some people are strolling down the street behind them, practically holding hands, having a nice stroll in the blowing wind. I mean, these people are such frauds. Such frauds, you know. I mean, I love exposing the lies because there's so many of them. You know, you can't avoid it. Cannot avoid it. So there you go. One more piece of evidence, but nobody talks about. And all the bullpits are run by the Jesuits and by the Masons. I'm just so sick of it, ladies and gentlemen. I'm just waiting for them to pull the proverbial plug. Do me a favor, okay? Pull the plug, because I want out of here, you know. To see all the suffering going on, all the lies and deceit. You know, how can anybody have a party down here when it's so disgusting, you know? So I don't know how long I'm going to hang on with my voice, so I'm going to try to get right to a feature I want to do prior to getting into the question. And by the way, I have a word here that just came tonight after all these years. It's amazing how they wait. You know, I was having a conversation today, and then the word came up, and then all of a sudden I saw it for the first time. I didn't ever see it before. And thank you for all your hearts, Ninja. Okay, and but it's the word save, and I wasn't able to, you know, I didn't, and so just really a miracle opened up to me tonight without trying, actually, without trying, and it's the word save is zeva, and it's ZAYVAH, VAT. Okay, I'll put it in the bar here. The T is silent. It's seva. Seva. And what it means is the power in the eye of the serpent. The power in the eye of the serpent. What does that mean? That you have the power to be saved through the power and operation of Yeshua. You have an eye for seeing, an eye for knowing. The power is in the eye of the serpent. What did he say? That the kingdom of heaven is within you. Don't go out there looking for it. It is within you. The power in the eye of the serpent. The serpent, you are the serpent. Okay? So there you go. There you go. Save. Zeva. I don't know why it took me so long, but I just never really focused on it. I kept reading over it because what I'm going to do is read in the original thought. Okay? I'm going to give a little sample of what's misnomered as the Aquarian Gospel, and is actually the original Gospel of Yeshua the Mashiach. Okay, so I'm gonna read in the original thought, transliterate as I go, because I was reading this over the weekend, and it's just so powerful. I am, you know, the original Gospel, which is what the Aquarian Gospel is so much more powerful than our filtered Gospels. It's just absolutely astounding. And it's the best kept secret on earth. And of course, they can't preach it in the pulpit. You know, they can't only have the filtered Vatican approved 27 teeny weeny little letters. That's all they can, you know, read, because they'd be in trouble with their big mommy. You know, they're not allowed to think for themselves. Not allowed to talk about the hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of other writings that were penned by the followers of the Mashiach. They wrote a library. You think Kefe, the head of the body of the called out ones, the church, just wrote 2 little teeny weeny little letters, and that was his job done? He wrote a collection of writings himself. He wrote his own little catalog of writings. It was all stolen from us. All stolen. Yeah, I've got the Essenes, Sandra. I'll be reading them, I think, next week. So I want to give a little sample, okay, before I get into questions tonight. And if you have, and what do we have here? Okay, Atlanta, Georgia, again. I can't believe it. Okay, I know that's not a caller. I get these crank calls from Atlanta, and they hang up once I pick up, you know, so I just block them as they come in. Yeah, so I'll get that in a minute. But anyway, so 135, they want me to, you know, they want, you know who they are, right? They want me to know I'm that they're listening in. Okay, Teresa, good to have you. Hadn't seen you in a while. And it's an amazing world, Mr. and Mrs. Smith. I'm going to block them right now. And that's two from Atlanta now, but they won't leave a message, you know. So let's go ahead and block them right now. I love this. Block content. Like, they're, you know, that's all they have. They got nothing better to do, you know, but to call and hang up on me. That's their little power trip, you know. Shelly, hey, good to have you. And so we're going to start a read now in 135 of the original gospel. And I hope everybody's doing okay out there. It's a tough world. Okay, you've been busy. Teresa, what part of the world are you from? Okay, I love, you know, at least it's one way to get to know people, what state they're from. So just tag it there. I'll look at it in a second. And chapter 135. So I will transliterate as I read. Okay, the text is in plain English from the 1800s, but I transliterate because, and I'm just, normally Yah Love does it, but I'm just jumping in here because this is I read this a couple times already this weekend. absolutely, blown away by this. So the feast was done, and Yeshua, Kefe, Yokove, and Yolganon were sitting in the temple treasury. And the other nine had already gone back to Capernaum. The people thronged the temple courts, and Yeshua breathed, I am the lamp. The Moshiach is the oil, the anointing oil of life. The only true anointed pure great breath of light on the wind and wings of fire throughout all time. You must see and read it for yourself. That light, and the eye who follows me, the mother's eye, will not walk in darkness, but the eye will have the light of life. A lawyer breathed, you witness for yourself. Therefore, your witness is not true. And Yeshua breathed, if I do witness for myself, I speak only that which is true. Okay, Teresa, you're from Minneapolis, Minnesota. Very good. Thank you. I speak only that which is true, for I know where I came from and where I will go. And no one else who is in the flesh can speak about me or for me. For one knows where I came from. No one knows where I came from, nor where I will go. My walk and work bear witness to the truth that I spark. As blood of the earth, I could not spark the words. I spark because they are the shavors of the only true anointed, pure great breath of light on the wind and wings of fire throughout all time. And then my great Father, he speaks for me. And the lawyer breathed, where does your great father live? Yeshua then breathed, you do not know me, or you would know my Father. And if you knew the Father, then you would know the Son, because the Father and the Son are all of one. I will go my way, and you will not find me, for where I go, you cannot come, because you do not care to know the way. You cannot find the way because your hearts are callous. Your ears are filled with the beeswax, and your eyes are all closed. The light of life cannot possibly shine through the murky veil that you have drawn about your hearts. You do not know the Mashiach, and if the Mashiach is not found within the heart, then there is no light that shines. I come to reveal the Mashiach to blood of the earth, and you do not receive me, the mother's eye. So you will live in darkness and in the shadow of the grave until you can follow the burning shavors that I spark. But you will live, you will vilify the seed of the Son and lift him up and laugh to see him die. But then a great light will quickly come, and then you will know who I am. And the people did not comprehend the meaning of these shavors that he sparked. And then the eye he sparked directly unto the people who followed him, and the eye he breathed. If I stay and live in the Moshiach, if you stay and live in the Mashiach will live in you. And if you keep my shavors deep within your heart, you will know the way. You are the truth seekers in the way. And you will soon know what the truth from the tree's root is. And the truth from the tree's root will make you free. And what is the tree's root other than the light and the sun, ladies and gentlemen? Thank you, Ninja. And still the people did not comprehend, so they breathed. We are the seed of Avraham and are already free. Give me a break. Yeah, they were free while they enslaved everyone else. We were never slaves of any blood of the earth. That's a lie. They were under Babylonian occupation, Persian occupation, Greek occupation, then Roman occupation from the time they were banished to Babylon. So right out the gate, we know that's a lie. Thank you. And Yeshua breathed. Do you not know that everyone that closes his eyes in darkness is the slave of blindness, of sin, that's blindness, and abides in bondage unto the blindness? If you do not close your eyes, then you are free. But if you close your eyes in thoughts or in the shavor or in action, then you are slaves. And nothing but the truth from the tree's root can set you free. If you are free through the Mashiach, then you are free indeed. You are the seed of Abraham. And yet you seek to murder me just because I speak the truth from the tree's root about Abraham. You are the seed. You are the seed only by the flesh of Abraham. But it is true throughout all time. I breathe. There is a spiritual Abraham. A spiritual Abraham whom you do not know. In spirit, you are the seed of your mother, and your mother is the adversary, and you hang upon her shavors and do her will. That's because they're following the woman at that time, ladies and gentlemen. It was the female deity that they were following. That's why they didn't know nor recognize the Father. She was a murderer, a jealous murderer from the beginning. She cannot tell the truth, and when she tells a lie, she speaks to her own. She is herself a lie. And they just lied up there in verse 21 where they said they were never in bondage to anybody. That was a lie. Right there. Liars. And she is the mother of herself. If you were the seed of my father, Yavohe, then you would give ear to the burning shavors of Yavohe, who is the great Elohim. I spark the shavors of the great Elohim. but you cannot give ear to them. A fatter shame stood forth and breathed, "This fellow is not one of us. The eye is a cursed Shamarian and is totally possessed." But Yeshua did not listen to the shavors of the Pharisee or the shofar scribe. The eye knew that all the people knew that he was a Hebrew. And then the eye breathed, "Whoever keeps my shavors, my words, my burning swords of fire, will never die." The lawyer breathed, "And now we know the eye is possessed. Our father Avraham is dead. The navigators all are dead, and yet this fellow breathes, 'Whoever keeps my shavors will never die.' Is this blood of the earth greater than our father Avraham? Is he the eye above the navigators? And when all of them are dead?" And Yeshua breathed, "Your father Avraham stood up in the light to see my Dayel. The eye saw it and was enlightened and happy." The lawyer breathed, "You simple blood of the earth, you are not but 50, you're not even 50 years of age, and have you seen Avraham?" And Yeshua breathed, "Before the Dayels of Avraham, I am the one who comes with the light of the sun." Again the scribes and the Pharisee were outraged, and they took up stones to throw at him, but like a phantom of the night, the eye disappeared, and the people did not know where he went. 136. And Yeshua again with the temple courts, stood again within the temple courts and plowed and planted seed. A mother star of the written law was sent to question him, that the eye might find a cause to censure and accuse him of a crime. And the eye breathed, "Healer and pure breather of light, tell me, the mother's eye, what to do that I might have eternal life in a day without end." And Yeshua breathed, "You know the pure shelter, the written law, what does it breathe?" And the Lord answered, "You will love Yahweh, who is your great doll of Ham, with all of your heart, with all of your shul, with all of your strength, with all of your mind, and you will love your neighbor as yourself." And Yeshua breathed, "It is truth throughout all time. You have answered well. Do this and you will live." And the lawyer breathed, "So my neighbor, then who is he?" And Yeshua breathed, "A blood of the earth was going from Jerusalem to Jericho. And it is true throughout all time. It soon occurred that he met robbers along the way, who beat him, robbed him of his goods, and left him bleeding by the way on the side of the road. And the Pharisee was going down that way, and the eye saw the wounded blood of the earth, but he had no time to lose, and the eye passed by on the other side. A Levite came and saw the blood of the earth, and he was loath to soil his sacerdotal robes, and he passed by. And a lawyer on his way to Jericho observed the dying blood of the earth, and then he breathed, "If I could make a shekel from him, I might help the blood of the earth, but obviously he has nothing left to give, and I have no time right now for charity." And so he passed on by. And then a stranger from Samaria came that way. The eye saw the wounded blood of the earth, and his heart was touched with pity. And the eye stopped and dismounted from his horse. And he revived the blood of the earth, and placed him on his horse, and took him to an inn, and charged the keeper of the inn to nurse him back to strength. And the eye gave the keeper all the money that he had, and he breathed. Your charges of bill may be more than this, but take care for this unfortunate man. And when I come again, I will pay everything. And then he went his way. Now, Mother Star of the Law, which of these four were neighbor unto him that fell among the thieves? You know, he just put those priests down. You know that. He just put all the priests down, and he's going to have to admit the Samaritan that they hate. They hate the Shamarians. They hate them, even though they're the same bloodline. And the lawyer breathed. The blood of the earth who showed him mercy, for sure. The eye who cared for him. And Yeshua breathed. Then go on your way and do the same, and you will live. Now Yeshua, Kefe, Yalkova, and Yolganon went out to Bethany, where Lazar lived. And Mary sat at Yeshua's feet and gave ear to him, the one of the many, sparking out the shavors of life, while Martha served. And Martha called for help, but Mary would not leave the healer and pure breather of light to help her serve. And Martha breathed to Yeshua, do you not care that Mary makes me carry the burdens of the serving all day long? I beg you that you will ask her to help me. And Yeshua breathed, you are preoccupied with too many things, Martha, for all of your guests. And you do not need to be so troubled about these things of earthly life. You grow weary by your care for the little things and have slighted the one thing that is needed most of all. Your sister here has chosen by far the greater part, a part that no one can take away from her. Chapter 137. And welcome, Rainbow, to the broadcast. Good to have you. Now, in the evening, Yeshua, Kefe, Yokova, and Yolganun with Lazar went out beyond the village gates to create light. And Lazar breathed, seed plant within me the mother's eye, how to create light. And Yeshua breathed, the creation of light I plow and plant in the 12 to create light while we were in Galilee is one acceptable before Yahweh, who is our great Elohim. So when we create light, just create light about these things. Our great Father, Yahweh, who rules from the throne of the sun, the only true anointed, pure, great light. That is your royal title. Your royal domain in the house of the sun has come. Your will be done on earth. And what does earth mean? See if I can find a definition real quick. I just did that earlier today. Earth, come on. To hear the breath. Earth means to hear the breath, okay? Because the breath is breathing. Let your will be done on earth. Let your breath be heard on earth as it is done in the throne of the sun. Give us this dayel, our needed bread. Help us to forget the debts that others owe to us, that all our debts may be discharged. And shield us from the tempter's snares that are all too great for us to bear. And when they come, give us the strength to overcome these temptations. And Yeshua breathe. The answer to your creation of light may not appear in fullness in a short time, but do not be discouraged. Create light again, and then again, and then again, and then again. And finally, Yahweh will give ear to your request. It is a great struggle to overcome the self. And then the eye, he sparked the parable, a reflection of nature, and the eye breathed. A housewife was alone at night, and it is true throughout all time that some guests arrived. And they were very hungry, having had no food for all the day. And the housewife had no bread. And so in the middle of the night, she went out and called on a friend and breathed, "Loan me 3 loaves of bread, for some guests have arrived, and I have nothing to give them to eat." The friend replied, "Why do you trouble me in the middle of the night at this hour? My door is locked. My little ones are all in bed as well as I am. I'm not going to rise to give you bread. Tomorrow you can be supplied." The housewife asked again, and then again, and then because she pled and she would not be refused, the friend rose up and gave her bread. You must see and read it for yourself. I breathe unto you. Ask firmly, and you will receive. Seek, trusting in the one who made you, and you will find what you need. Knock earnestly, with definiteness of purpose, and that door will be opened up. All things are yours. And when you ask, do not ask as a man who begs, but ask as the offspring, the son or daughter of that one, and you will be satisfied. A son may ask his father for a loaf of bread. The father will not give him a stone, or he may ask him for a fish, and he will not give him a crab, or he may ask him for an egg, and the father will not give him a pebble from the brook. You must see and read it for yourself. If blood of the earth, of the flesh, know how to give generously to their offspring of the flesh, and will not your great Father who rules from the throne in the Son give abundantly to those of you who cry out when you create light with conviction? And there you have a sample of the original gospel. Ladies and gentlemen, we're going to go to a short break. When we get back, we're going to be on with questions. Okay? And hopefully some answers to help all of you out. You're tuned in right here to the Forbidden History, premiering Sunday nights, 9 p.m. Eastern Time, on the RealPublicRadio.net, Free American Radio Network. You know, it's what they didn't want you to know that we tell right here, because somebody's got to do it. I'm Desert Owl. Don't go away. We'll be right back. Stand by. All right. Well, you know, this makes for bad radio, but we are the real public radio. Ladies and gentlemen, we get the job done on a song, a wing, and a prayer, and you know that you are our prayer. And thank you for all the hearts and comments and those gremlins, or kumquats. I don't know what they are. Okay, sometimes I wonder what they're talking about on there. Okay, you have a playlist, Sandra, and still many more to add yet, so look for that, okay? You're talking about music, I guess, right? Other music, okay? Yeah, I have my own special music. It's still on my other computer, and I can't get it, so it'll give me another minute for my break at least. The best public radio. Thank you, Shelley. Right. Well, we're non-commercial, you know, and we tell it like it is. Like I said, they get all the money. We don't have any money, but we do get it done on a song, a wing, and a prayer. That's why I've been doing it all these years, you know. I couldn't hold a regular job, and I did it out of my back pocket, and non-commercial. I produced over, geez, I lost count, but I would say up near 70. I produced near 70 radio programs. Some were mine. Probably about 20 of them were mine, and about the rest of them were for other people, for other issues. I produced law programming 7 days a week, and I did primetime broadcasting 6 p.m. to midnight, and then replayed it till 6 a.m. in the morning. So I did 12 hours a day of broadcasting on the realpublicradio.net for about 6 years. Okay, Sandra, very good, thank you. And you know, it is amazing that that the depths of darkness, you know, it's just amazing. And there is only one power, you know, and that is the light. There's only one power, and the power is the light of Yahweh. Okay, Sandra. Well, I notice you're pretty regular about coming by. I sure appreciate that. And you know, and yeah, I spoke to Sandra tonight for the first time. She's on the southwestern side of Australia, and we got Ninja on the eastern side. So we got both areas of Australia covered. And they need to talk real slow when they talk to me because they're speaking a foreign tongue, and they're speaking Australian. You know what I mean? Yeah. And so you know, I'm having enough trouble understanding these young Americans today. You know, they also abbreviate the words. It's amazing. You know, that's just hang around 100 years and we won't recognize what we call English anymore. You know. But anyway, back to the broadcast, ladies and gentlemen. And glad you tuned in. I hope everybody's doing okay out there. It's a tough world. And thank you, Teresa. Thank you. Love back to you. And you know, you never call in. That's the problem with everybody. They don't call in. I'm waiting for call. I wanted to have a caller-generated program, but maybe you know, and Sunday night could be a special call-in night. Okay, consider it. And I want to answer questions because, you know, I've answered all my questions. Okay, I don't have any questions anymore. Hardly. After all I've gone through and the price I had to pay for learning, you know, and climbing a mountain and with oxygen deprivation, I can't get over watching these people climb the Himalayan mountains at 24,000 feet. I was starving of oxygen at 14,500 feet on Mount Whitney in Central California, you know. The tallest peak in the contiguous United States, looking for a vision. When I came down, that's when the words opened up to me. And so tonight we have a question from Shelley, and she wanted to know about hell. And, you know, in other words, like, you know, what the hell is going on? No, she wanted to just know the meaning of hell. And, you know, forgive me for, you know, a little joke there, because, you know, our lives, this world stinks, doesn't it? I mean, come on, they want to kill us, and I love to find a reason to have a joke every now and then, you know. So forgive me. Or, you know, when we answer the phone, hello, oh yeah, hell, oh hell, yeah, Okay, I get it. You know, life is hell. That's what it means. You know, hell, oh, means life is a true hell. True hell. Absolute, perfect, true hell. You know what I mean? And we got to learn to deal with it. Okay, but Ninja would call, but she calls too much, right? She's asking somebody else to step up to the plate, ladies and gentlemen. All right, and it'll happen. It'll happen. Okay, they got to work the nerve up. But anyway, in the meantime, so so Shelley wanted to know about hell, and you know, which is also then the word Hades in the Greek, Hades, which is also Sheol, Sheol, in the Yiddish Hebrew, and then Plutarch, Plutar. I don't know how to spell. Oh, Pluto. Excuse me, Pluto, Pluto. Pluto. He was the dog, right? Yeah, Pluto's the dog, and well, school is a yeah. Okay, I get you, Rainbow. School is hell, right? Okay. Uh, it's tough to learn, isn't it? Yeah. Well, school doesn't have to be hell. And these words, the fact that they look like each other in different ways, do tell a story. You know, because hell, this hell that we're in, is a learning ground, is it not? It is a learning ground. There you go. Good day. Thank you. That's a beautiful one. You know, I was trying to figure out an alternative, and that's a good one. Um, okay, thank you for that, Sandra. So, all right, so hell, Hades, Sheol, Pluto. What is hell? What is Sheol? What is Hades? It is, ladies and gentlemen, it is so simple. It is the grave. It is the grave. Okay, simple. But what they did is they converted it into, you know, some place of darkness and eternal fire, when the truth is the earth is hell. Hello? The earth is hell. It is a true hell. And what did Yeshua say? That the people of the world would be cast out of the kingdom after he had the victory of light, after he rose from the dead, after he was murdered by his own supposedly people, the priesthood that claimed to be of Ashuriel, even though they were imposters and pseudo Ashuriel. Then the people were cast into the outer darkness, where there's weeping and the gnashing, the clenching of teeth. And that is the outer darkness. They're not in the light. They're in the darkness. And so the fire, it's the fire that never burns. Is it not true that there's perpetual war, perpetual starvation, perpetual torture and ritual sacrifice of babies? The Vatican / Masonic child sexual exploitation. You know, it's unbelievable, ladies and gentlemen, the crimes that are being committed, and the people that commit them, dress up in fine suits and put on tin badges and claim to be the authorities and your protectors, and they're the ones that are ready to rape and kill you. So hell, now let's look at the word etymologically. Okay? If hell is if the H is the word the in the original as well, then we've got the L. So it implies then the L. And we are supposed to be the L, the enlightened ones. Then it's implying that the body is a grave. The body is a hell. And would you not say the body is a hell if you were crippled, if you were bedridden, if you had deformity, you know, or mental problems, you know, the body in the metaphor is a grave. It is a grave. And we're locked in it. We are locked in the grave of our own serpent, because the body is a serpent. And now I'm going to show it to you by symbolism, okay? Because you know that the S equals serpent. S equals serpent. And, okay, and so the word shell equals the serpent's hell. The shell is our body. Self is shell, you see, and it represents the grave. So our body is a hell, it is a grave. The earth is a hell, and it is a grave. Why? Because the people are the walking dead. They have to be born again. They have to rise from the death that they are in with their eyes closed. They are blind. They cannot see. They are the walking dead. And Yeshua came to open the eyes. If people are walking around with their eyes closed, then symbolically they are dead and in the grave. And so Lazar, not Lazarus, but Lazar, became the example of that picture, where he said, you know, when he knew he was sick, he got the messenger coming to him and says, hey, your good buddy, he's sick, he's dying. And then he stayed a couple more days so that make sure he would die. And then he said, let's go see Lazar. And they said, well, Master, they find out he's dead. He says he's dead. And so that's okay. It's for the glory, for the sunrise of Yahweh. And so they go, and the sisters are confused, because they thought, well, wait a minute. We thought you were the healer. Why didn't you come and heal your good buddy? He said, didn't I tell you that you would see the great light that shines? And they said, well, we know he'll rise from the dead at the end of the world. And he said, I am the resurrection. I am the resurrection and the life. Meaning it's in Yeshua. If you want to rise from the dead and this hell, you have to through the operation and the body of Yeshua and be buried with him in the grave, so that you can live in the metaphysical metaphor. Okay? So what does he say? Lazar, ray of light. That's Lazar. Laser, ray of light. Laser, come forth from the grave, ray of light. So if we continue to create light, if we put on that light, if we transform ourselves to be like the great Father, then we can rise from the dead, from the hell that we're in, of the outer darkness where there's weeping and gnashing of teeth, sorrow. He says that when I'm finished with you and fulfilling my word with you, that you will have a joy that is so great that for all the pain and suffering and the hell you went through, it will not be remembered for the greatness of receiving his great breath of the wind and fire. And so hell, we find it in the Norse Germanic. It's spelled H-E-L in the Norse Germanic mythology. And it is a being who presides over a realm of the same name. It's a being, the El, the enlightened, right? So I suffer persecution today by the secret societies. Others are suffering today, even when they were not claiming Yeshua. They're in their hell. But we know that we can be delivered from this grave, from this hell by Yeshua. Okay, so let me read this again. In Norse Germanic mythology, it is a being who presides over the realm of the same name, where she receives a portion of the dead. So she receives a portion of the dead. Okay, that's those who are in the outer darkness. So her name is hell. That is the proverbial Lucifer, the blind goddess. Well, if she's blind, then I guess we're in trouble, right? If that's our deity and she's blind, we're really in trouble, because that was what the mother of Ashuriel became, the blind whore, the blind whore, the blind goddess. That's what we see outside the courtroom, at least here in America. I don't know about the other courtrooms around the world, but in America, the goddess is holding a balance in her hand, and she's got a blindfold on. They call her blind justice. Well, I don't want her giving me my payment with the blindfold on, because I know I won't get my day in court, you see. So that comes from the Poetic Edda, and it was compiled in the 1200s, okay? Hell. And there's more that can be said about this, but I hope that answered your question as best as possible, Shelley, because this thing about hell and damnation, you see, it came out of Babylon. They converted the story into something else. You know, when you go into the grave, when you get buried in the earth, and then they create all these stories. They create all these stories, you know. That's all they do. That's it. That's all they spend all their time creating false illusions, you know, to deflect us from the reality. And so in the Catholic, which is the perfection of the Babylonian tradition, the Vatican, and you're welcome, Shelley. Thank you for the question. You know, they want us to think that's a place of eternal punishment, non-ending torture in the most hideous possible ways, you know, extreme, like the Jesuits used to do in Spain and other parts of Europe and around the world. Unbelievable tortures. But you see, let's just look at it from a natural standpoint, because our parents on earth are an image of the great Father, Mother, the one who made all things. And now, would your father, your natural father, or your natural mother, would they, because you made a mistake, because you didn't get it right, would they want you tortured forever? Forever and ever and ever? Of course not. You know your parents, most of them, you know, if they have half a brain on, they would not want you tortured. So, obviously, the great Father, who is the divine love, the Trevane love, would not want us tortured. But he wants us all to be saved. He cares about everybody, but most especially those who are in the body of Yeshua. So this whole thing about torture without end is a great lie. It is a great lie. The objective is to make it into the royal house, into what we call the kingdom of heaven. But if we don't go, then the aspect of what we call reincarnation is actually true. It is the ancient tradition that if the soul doesn't make it back home, then it will come again in another form of another man or woman at another time, maybe on another planet. Not that we can travel by spaceship. That's all illusion and all fiction. But clearly, if there's so many billions of stars out there, it's pretty given that there's life on other planets, you know. And so the point is that the soul gets another shot at transcendence, you see. And that's the great mystery. And I know that's one of the greatest debates that is out there. I'm not here to make a doctrine out of it, but I know that it's true, that the great Father of Light does not want anyone to be tortured, and that it is the only possible, this is the ancient tradition, that we keep trying. We keep trying until we can make it back. I don't remember ever being here. So as far as I'm concerned, this is my first time ever here. And I don't want to come back, okay? So I want to get it right. I don't want to come back. So there you go. Okay, the presentation on hell, and life is hell, is it not, ladies and gentlemen? It is hell. And boy, I'm getting talked out. You know, I was going to do a presentation on Aisha again, but I think I want to save that for tomorrow morning because I got to do it out the gate. I'm going to do some words that kill and that they killed us with, okay? And then we'll call it a wrap for the evening. And hell no, me either. What? Don't give these psychopaths title. Yeah, don't give them title. That's for sure. And yeah, Shelly, thank you. And anybody that has a question, you know, we can bring it on Sunday night if you want to be a Sunday night one who poses a question. That's fine. I've got another one here for next week. Is the story of the Giants accurate? And we'll be talking about that. And the restoration of all things. Well, that's what Yeshua did 2,000 years ago, Shelly. I'll write that on a card. All right, let me put it on the card for next week. Yeshua, when he said it is finished, right? He rose from the dead. That's when he restored all things, that he now conquered death. Anybody that wants to be set free from the serpent and wants to put on the light, to be clothed in light, and to become enlightened, and to be above the earth, to be a part of the air in the clouds of the Zion, they could do that. To rise from this death, from the death of this world. So let me write down, what is the restoration of all things? Okay, I'll address that next week because I'm just going to do some words that kill. I just started broadcasting again yesterday. I was off for a week, and my voice is getting weak here, so I'm going to pace myself just to play it safe. Okay, and so let me pull out some words they killed us with real quick, and you can call in. The Pope is a dope. That's right. The Pope is a dope. It's called Pope-a-dope. And that's the, yeah, anyway. And so glad is glow. In the words that kill, just so I have a card here I wrote down today. I saw it. To be glad means to glow. Okay, just like rejoice means to stand up in the light, and glad is glow. It's a corrupt, it's a corrupt word originally from glow. To be glad means to be glowing with light. Okay. Shelly, you call in. You got Ninja calls in. And we're going to have to pay some people to call in, I guess. That may be the only way we can do it. So in the Piracy of Words that I wrote 150 pages of definitions of words that they killed in the Piracy of Words. I'm on the word occult. And occult is actually maybe a cult. You know, the A is what they're hiding, is the light. That's a symbol of light. Interesting thought. To hide the light. 2, when the moon is moving in front or hiding a star. That's an occult. And 3, Ak, for a true eclipse, for an eclipse. That's an occult. And a cult for culture and or the hiding of a secret cult. See, the reason everyone needs a gun, not saying it will change things in the end. Lawful right of self-defense has been the first common law right from the beginning, not saying that all will or should use it. We all need the counsel of our highest authority, our conscience, and our Redeemer. I'm wondering how I got that footnote on the word occult. That was the year I was misplaced and out of my apartment. Occupationally orphaned children. This is a good one. Occupationally orphaned children. I wonder if anybody... Hang on a second. I got to do something. I'll just put a song on for a minute, and I'll be right back. Okay, we got that. Thank you. Occupationally orphaned children, ladies and gentlemen. This is an interesting term. This is really where they got us. A new term that, okay, we've got a caller here. Oh, we've got a new caller. We got an old caller. It's Ninja Cat. Ninja, how you doing?
Hello. I hope you love the Aussie accent because you're hearing it a lot lately.
What's that now? Say again, please.
Oh, sorry. I meant to say good day, not hello.
Good day. Okay, mate. Right. And
Yeah.
and how are you doing? You've been having a tough time with the frequencies and all that. How you doing right now?
I have. I woke up and it was still pretty bad. But it's just the ringing, like the ear ringing, just is the most intense I've ever had, and it's not stopping. But other than that, all is good. I'm back to normal.
So you were able to get some sleep?
Yeah, I didn't get as much sleep as I wanted, but yeah, I'm good. I'm good, but I'm all clear and bubbly and giggly and wowing, so it's all good.
Well, that's wonderful. Then our prayers were answered.
Yes, they were. Thank you.
We created light, and the light is shining. Outstanding. Thank you, Father.
Yeah. Yeah. I have a word.
That could be dangerous, but go ahead.
I think this one actually is. I use it a lot. You've heard me use it when I refer to sky watching. I tend to say I've been obsessed with sky watching. And when you were doing the reading, you said obsessed is possessed. And I can see how that makes a lot of sense. And I just wanted to know more.
Wait a minute. What is the word? Again, you go fast and you speak a foreign tongue, so I didn't get it. What?
Obsessed.
Obsessed.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, obsession. And you swapped it for possessed in the reading.
Right, because obsessed, right, he is obsessed. It said he is obsessed, but I could recognize that the word is interchangeable. Actually, now that you're mentioning it, I think obsessed was actually more correct now that you got me thinking about it, you see? Yeah, because but they also make the claim that people are possessed. That's standard what they've done when it's not. There is no possession. In other words, okay, when we do something that is improper, then the Scripture tells us in James that we close our eyes or we sin when we are tempted and drawn away by our lusts and enticed. And then when this blindness or closing of our eyes or sin is finished, then we bring on death. It's a state of death to be closing our eyes and to do things that are wrong. So he didn't say we're possessed by the devil, or these terms are all misconstrued. The devil was the adversary, and it was always man in the old covenant. And so they got us thinking about things that fly through the air and go bump in the night. But so if you're sick, do you think you got a devil? You think you got a demon? These terms have other meanings that they've converted into fictional characters that don't exist. Tell me what day of the week the devils and the demons and Satan, if these words are correct, true, and correct and complete, what day were they made? Because when I read, in Isaiah, he says, there is none beside me. There is no one. I am the one, and there is no other beside me. And so this is one of the greatest deceptions is about the disassociation of self. What the serpent is. The serpent is the flesh, but they got us to think it's a snake that was talking to Eve in the garden, and don't ever get the picture that it was the Naga, And when you look it up in Strong's, it doesn't say snake, it says Naga, and the Naga is Adam. Adam was the one who knew about the entire creation because he was up there in the atom with Yeshua while he created all things on earth for millions and millions of years. He knew about everything, free energy, the way the cosmos came to be, about everything in nature, the mixing of metals, and that's why they could create the Great Pyramid civilizations, and then they could also create anti-gravity vimanas and fly them around the world and land on those pyramids. There was nothing they couldn't do. We can't do today what they did back then.
So basically, it's all created by man, and I think Mum just got home. I just want to think. Sorry, that's a dog. Hang on. It's all created by man. It's all trickery, and our fear enhances that and makes us think that there's entities and demons and things, pretty much.
Absolutely, they created them. That's their tradition. You know, false images, just like the Watchers. I'm the only one that tells the correct story about the Watchers, who are correctly called the Vekoresh. And the Vekoresh in the Vatican, we find them as vicars, and that's the original for Watcher. There is no W. The W is an M flipped over. That's a code, and it was the Vekoresh, and they knew how all things operated. They were Aryans. And they came down and wanted to enslave mankind, and that's what they did. We have all the evidence of it.
Yes, they did.
Yeah.
They did a very good job, didn't they?
Yeah, they did. And they're ones that are targeting you, targeting me, targeting Duck, Deplorable Duck, and who's on the other. Go back three programs, and you'll find his story where I interviewed him. You know, so and everyone else is targeted. They got us all in the bullseye because they're taking down our world. They destroyed our world.
Wow. Wow, and giggles.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
well, thank you. Thank you for that.
You bet. Well, yeah. So obsessed.
I was worried because I always say the word obsessed, and I was worried that I was just worried when you replaced it. That was all.
Right.
So. It was good. Sorry, I'm distracted because I think one time.
Okay, so you're good?
Yeah, I'm good. I might have to go though.
All right. Then thank you for your call, Ninja. All right, and glad to hear you're doing better.
And guys, call in. It's not that scary.
What's that?
Telling everybody, call in. It's not that scary.
Oh yeah. I don't bite. That's right.
Yeah, this is very gentle, very easy to talk to.
That's right. So thank you for saving me again. Okay.
Okay, thank you, and I'll see you in the chat.
All right, see you in the chat. Good day, mate.
Okay, bye.
Bye-bye. And that's Ninja Cat from Canberra on the southeastern side of Australia. And so what is this occupationally orphaned children, ladies and gentlemen? A new term that was coined in one of their subversive secret books found inside an IBM typewriter at a government surplus auction called Silent Weapons for Quiet Wars. It was based on their plan to infiltrate the dollar, so-called, and thus, let me try that again. It was based on their plan to inflate the dollar, so-called, and thus put both mom and dad in the workforce as slave labor in order to pay the bills and make ends meet. By fulfilling this objective, the babies and the little ones through 5 years old and under will then have to be dropped off at a strategic location where the process of indoctrination, stealing their minds, can begin even before they reach the school age years. See, understand. Yeah, you don't want to stand under that. Offense literally means off the fence. Okay, you're in trouble now. See, College of Abbreviators. Offer. That's over. 2, of fire, based on the original thought. See, offense. in office. Office. 1, off the ice. Get off the ice, okay? Office. They're all on ice, I think. 2, in the hot seat. C, turn on the air conditioner and offer. Offer. Offense. Officer. Here's a good one. Officer. 1, yes, when he walks up to the car, what you want to say is, may I have your offer, sir? Offer, sir. It's a title of nobility. 2, offer, sir. He's making you an offer. Do you accept it? 3, the true phasor or phaser, Alphazor, my father of the light and sky, i.e. a religious legion event, all the Vatican. The dog is a priest. Light for the lights, Fay, on his car, and the sky for the Zor blue uniform, typically. And don't forget those sirens. We talked about that this morning. When those sirens pull you over, you crash upon the rocks. They turn on their sirens, and you're ruined financially. Official, a true fish of the Father of all. Father being the Jesuit or the priesthood. See, how do we get to land? Anybody can tell me? Something's rotten in Denmark based upon the operation of the Jesuits. The 2 O's, the oo. You know, it's interesting in John of Wycliffe, 1382, First English translation of our scriptures out of Oxford, in the book of Revelations, in the First English version, handwritten, the book of Revelations, it says, I am the Alpha and the Oo, 2 O's. Okay, whereas in the Greek, it says, I am the Alpha and the Omega, the Omega. Okay, that's spelled O-O-M-E-G-A. So the 2 O's symbolize sun and moon, the primary symbols of the columns, the symbols of creation, the two eyes of the owl, and the Omega, owl symbols. That little symbol of the Omega at the end of the alphabet is a little picture of an owl. They're telling you something, okay? See, does anyone really give a hoot anyway? Opinions. That's an open onion. Makes you want to cry. And everybody seems to have one. See, does anybody really know what time it is? Does anybody really care? I think it's the end of the world. Ord, abbreviation for ordinance, literally the true judgment of the or's answer, a bullet. See, hope there's no depleted uranium around. Ordinance, 1, local statute law. 2, ammunition. See, get out of Dodge or dodge the bullet. Order. 1, cyber code for 1 shipment. Reflection on original thought. 2, man the oars for the or else. 3, the order. The order. Any hors d'oeuvres? Priestly incense. See, it has always been about the oar. Get rowing. Roman for Rome. We want more. See, more, anagram for Rome. Romy. Romeo, please, I'm tired now. Anoint the anointing. The anointing is truth, ladies and gentlemen. Concordance. The con art, the core of the dance. The chord of the con. See, lexicon. The law of the con. And definitions. That's French for the Phoenicians. The Phoenicians. Definitions. What part of deaf don't we understand? See, Venetian blind, Phoenician blind, those rascals, Canaanites, Gonanites, bloodthirsty murderers of mankind, and the first pirates of the high seas. Canaanites, it's actually correctly now we know, is Gonanites. Gonanites, spelling add Canaanites. 1, the Phoenicians, the Flow nations. 2, the redhead spotted descendants of Cain, stained with blood, leprosy all over their body, also known as the Keltec for the killing technology, as the frontline mercenary force of the ancient Aryan Brahmin priesthoods. 4, today's Irish, for irony, for the rich eye, Ireland, for that land of fire and irony. 5, leprechaun, the spotted king with his pot of gold. Just a wee little man he was, but we weren't talking about that now. We'll see. Will we? See Phoenician, the Celtic cross, and admiralty. Admiralty, the duplication of the images in the mirror, the admira mirror of the sea. 2, military rule, contractual enforcements. 3, merchants, exploitation. 4, peonage. Any volunteers? See, join the U.S. Army, fool, or any other. Celtic cross, one more. Celtic cross, Keltec, Kairos, the most ancient symbol of navigation, accurate within 4 nautical miles or just within view of the next horizon. 2, Jesuit became the cross of that Navi. The navigation symbol pointing the way back home when he was sacrificed. Well, let me try that again. I thought it said Jesuit. Jesus became the cross of that navigation symbol and pointing the way back home to the light when he was sacrificed. See, don't leave home without this, ladies and gentlemen. And there you go, and you just got the forbidden history, what they didn't want you to know, but we tell right here. You know, it's a tough world, ladies and gentlemen, but sometimes we've got to have a little humor because it's that bad. And the psychopathic world is out to kill all of our friends and family, all of us. No exception. It's the rule. And how do we figure out the truth in a web of lies and deceit? Well, we just have to keep hammering at it. Keep piercing the veil, pulling the curtain back, seeing what's behind the stage. The UFO phenomena, you know, all these great motherships in the sky, and you know, we don't ever hear about it on the news. They don't send out the military because it is the World Federation. It's the phase duration. She's been here from the beginning, playing the greatest show on earth. Nobody gets the picture, though. I hope you do. I hope you can see and read it for yourself. I'm just a messenger. Thank you, Ninja. Thank you, Sandra. Okay. I just want you to remember that if you're wanting to know the future, then you simply need to look for the forbidden history. It's all right here. It's what they didn't want you to know that we tell, because somebody's got to do it. And thank you, Crystal. Good to have you. I can't remember if this is your first time to our broadcast, but welcome. And we'll be at 9:30 a.m. tomorrow morning with the Forbidden History series, the history of the church, the original thought. We're in trouble, but there is good news, ladies and gentlemen, because we are not of this world, and our spirit is eternal, and the flesh is the illusion. We don't die, we just go on, and hopefully for all of you to something greater. Second time here, Crystal? Very good. Hope you come back. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Desert Owl. Wishing you all the best. Peace and love and light. Good night.